Welcome to Relish. I'm Alli. I'm a nutritionist and a yoga teacher, and I'm here to talk nutrition and wellness every week. As you may tell, I'm at a different location. Today's show is going to be from this wonderful house that we get to borrow from a friend of ours. So, really lovely background today. So, welcome to the show. Today we're going to be talking about walking and the benefits of walking and a fun little walking snack, or just a fun little snack maybe to have after a walk. So please put questions and comments in the comment bar down below, the chat bar down below. I love to discuss things with everybody during the show. So any question or comments, I love to keep the conversation going. So today, we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics and one of my favorite things to do, which is to walk. I'm a very avid walker. And so I thought, we should be talking about exercise as well as food during this show. So today is walking day. And I'm going to give you a lot of benefits we all know walking is good for you, but I'm going to tell you why, and then we'll do the snack. So let's start. The first bit, I have 7 reasons that walking is good for you from Nutrition Action, which is this amazing newsletter that I used to get a long time ago, and my mom and I used to read it together a lot. And then I just kind of stopped subscribing to it, but then I just recently started subscribing to it again. It's written by the Center for Science in the Public Interest, and it's an unbiased nutrition newsletter, which is awesome. You know that it's not like based on advertisers or based on somebody that, wants to get their name out there. It's just straight up nutrition information from unbiased writing and sources. So anyway, they had a whole article on 7 reasons why walking is good for you. So let's talk about it. And then I have some other sources that also talk about it. But we'll start with Nutrition Action first. Okay, so reason number 1, walking builds a sharper, bigger brain, which I love that. There was a study done where people over 60 walked 1 to 2 miles a day, and they found that they had a 35% lower rate of developing Alzheimer's. And studies have also shown that people who walk regularly have larger volumes of areas in the brain controlling memory and reasoning. So basically, it shows that it increases our brain health and brain volume. I thought that was pretty awesome. Love that reason. Next reason is people live longer that walk. So there was a European study done that found that people who took a brisk 20-minute walk a day were much less likely, or were to live 12 years longer. And let's see. And then most Americans spend 2/3 of their day sitting, which I know a lot of us, have to work while we sit, or sit while we work. So this is a good reason to walk. So they say that replacing 1 hour of sitting, 1 hour that you would be sitting, with doing some walking or do chores that involve standing, just so you're not sitting, actually. You were less likely, or you were 40% less likely to, or 40% to add 7 years into your life, I guess is what we're saying. It's kind of more of a negative. The information they gave was a little more negative, so I'm just spinning it around to make it more positive. So that's really good. So just a simple thing, like even if you can stand, if you're working on a computer, if you can stand, that even helps. And you can stand in place and walk. We're going to do a quick little walking exercise in a little bit. Standing and walking. It also helps, third reason, it also helps knees. It's pretty low impact exercise. So walking 40 to 60 minutes, 3 to 5 times a week can reduce knee pain by about 30%, is what they said. And if you combine walking and weight loss, the pain can be reduced by 50%. So that's great. I love hearing that because my knees aren't great and there are a lot of things I can't do like running. So walking is good. Okay, number 4, walking improves your mood. Walking can help people who have been diagnosed with mild or moderate depression as much as medication or having psychotherapy sessions. So that's pretty awesome. Just getting out, getting your fresh air. All those other things are also important too. But walking can be an addition to your well-being. And let's see, it also increases your serotonin levels, which we know are the mood-boosting chemicals in our body. So just getting out and moving, getting the fresh air, boosting our serotonin, great reasons to walk. Walking also lowers your risk of cancer. They have found that physical activity and walking may reduce your risk of breast cancer, colorectal cancer, and endometrial cancers. So those are great reasons as well. And the big one, which we all pretty much know, but I'll just say it again, it strengthens your heart. So walking significantly reduces your risk of heart attack, stroke, sudden cardiac death, atrial fibrillation, and congestive heart failure. So that is a great reason. We want all these great reasons to strengthen our heart, and this is a good one. So there was a nurses study where they followed 72,000 women between the ages of 40 and 65. And the women who walked briskly for 3 or more hours per week were 35% less likely to suffer from a heart attack. So that is pretty amazing. 3 to 4 hours per week. So, and they say the more you sweat, the better. So layer up or just, walk really briskly is good. Get the heart pumping. And you can break it up during the day too. So that's a really other nice component that, like, if you just have 30 minutes at lunch and if you have 30 minutes after dinner, break it up. Get an hour a day, but it can be broken up. Later, I'm going to be talking about another study where they did break it up throughout the day and it was just as beneficial. If you have 10 minutes, take a quick walk. If you have 20, just, add them all up. And especially if you use like a Fit tracker or like a Fitbit or something, you know that it's recording all day. So it's the end of the day where your numbers are important. So just keep that in mind. So basically, it's great for our heart. It helps the heart pump more efficiently. It exercises the heart, so the more you use it, the stronger it's going to be. So that's good. And reason number 7 is it helps us avoid diabetes. So as we age, and if we aren't active, then the muscles become insulin resistant. So exercise is a very effective way to improve insulin sensitivity in our muscles. So, this is the study I was talking about. There was a study done of sedentary adults, and they had them walk for 15 minutes after breakfast, 15 minutes after lunch, and 15 minutes after dinner, or do one 45-minute walk at 10:30 in the morning or at 4:30 in the afternoon. And they found that their blood sugar control was way better. So that's, 15 minutes. Sometimes we don't have time right after a meal. But if you do, if you work, if you have your lunchtime break, you take 45 minutes to eat, take that 15 minutes to walk, or 30 minutes and 30 minutes. So that's a good example of, even if you split it up during the day, it's still going to be effective. Those 7 reasons are from Nutrition Action. Check out the newsletter. I really love it. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm going to take a sip of my coconut LaCroix. Let's get up and do a quick walking exercise. If you are able to, it's nothing fancy. I'm going to move my chair. Nothing fancy. Just walk in place get the heart pumping. I did this once. It was raining outside, like pretty hard. And I thought, oh gosh, I really don't want to walk outside. And I had to work. So I put my computer on the ledge in our house and I walked and typed or walked and moved my arm while I read things. And, you know, if you have a Fitbit and you have that on your arm, it's still tracking those steps. Even though you're not moving, it's kind of like standing in place and doing the treadmill. But it's more of a march. But it's a great way to get the heart pumping. You can move your arms sideways. You can move them along this way. But if you don't have time, just stand up and walk in place. The time is unlimited. So, thank you all for joining me. If you stood up and walked in place with me, because the blood flowing, I'm going to take another drink. Thank you for joining me on that. That was fun. Okay, so now I'm going to give some other benefits. Some might be a little bit of a repeat, but a little bit of a different angle. But I got these from Healthline, which is also a great source for research and information. They gave 5 reasons. Then I'm adding one at the end, so 6. But another one, just, you know, this is one of the obvious ones that we know, but I just thought I'd mention it. Walking helps burn calories. So this is great for maintaining weight or losing weight. And, you know, everybody burns a different amount of calories. I know we talked about this before, like everybody's calorie needs are different. So depending on your height, your weight, your physical fitness, how fast you're walking, how many hills you're doing, how far you're going, those all influence how many calories you're going to burn. But just in general, walking will burn those calories. So that's good. That's good for us to do. And walking also boosts our immune function. So it may help reduce the risk of developing cold and flu, which I thought that was interesting. There was a study where they tracked 1,000 people during the flu season. And the people who walked at a moderate pace for 30 to 45 minutes a day had 43% fewer sick days than people that did not walk. And they also had fewer respiratory tract infections. But they did find that, you know, if of the people that did get sick that did walk, their days were a lot shorter of being sick. So that's good. You know, we're getting the blood flowing, getting the fresh air. That's a good thing for our immune system. So even if you live in cold climate, you can walk in place like we just did, or do a treadmill if you go to a gym, anything like that. But it does boost our immune function, so that is a good thing. It also boosts our energy. So going for a walk may be more effective than drinking coffee, which I love drinking coffee. And a lot of times that like 3 o'clock slump in the afternoon, sometimes you just need the coffee. But walking does increase the oxygen flow in our bodies. It increases our cortisol, our epinephrine, our norepinephrine, and these are hormones that help elevate our energy. So if you have the time and you're feeling tired, take a walk or do the standing walking. It really can wake you up a little bit, and then go for the coffee if you still need it. But just try the walking first, and then you get your blood flowing, maybe get some natural energy. So try that. All right. And it also tones our legs, strengthens our muscles. So this is reason number 1, 2, 3, 4. These reasons aren't numbered, so I just have to count them. And especially if you're doing hills or if you walk on a treadmill and you do the incline, this really helps strengthen our legs, which is good for muscle tone and for building, or for our bones, for building strength in our bones too. So toning, strengthening our legs is good. Solid base. And reason number 5 is walking is an excellent time for creative thinking. So if you do, sometimes, I always like to listen to something, which we'll get into in a little bit, but if you do, if you're working on a project or you're doing art or you just need to think of a creative solution to something, take a walk. Take a walk. So a study that included 4 experiments compared people trying to think of new ideas while they were walking or sitting. And the participants that walked had way more ideas, the free flow, the fresh air, your body's moving, you're doing something inspiring. So that could really affect our creativity in a really, really good way. So if you're stuck on a solution and need some creative ideas or inspiration, take a walk, take a hike. It doesn't matter if it's walking or hiking or whatever. So the only time I really have to listen through the library, listen. Other times I listen to books sometimes when I'm cooking. Use it for so many walks. It's just the terrain. There's a lot of up and down, and so speed doesn't matter. Speed doesn't matter. Although sometimes I get competitive about it. I just did a half marathon and I'm tired. And now I'm going to list a couple of reasons that the Mayo Clinic gives for the benefits of walking. They say regular brisk walking can help maintain a healthy weight. It can prevent or manage a lot of conditions, which we did already kind of talk about. Heart disease, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes. It can strengthen your bones and your muscles. We did talk about that. Improve your mood and improve your balance and coordination. I thought this was a really good one. Especially as we get older, it's really good to work on our balance and coordination. Like if you were to fall, you would know how to fall better and just be able to move your body and just be more aware of our bodies if we're walking a lot. So those were really great. And the Mayo Clinic says the faster, the farther, and more frequently you walk, the greater the benefits. So try to, every once in a while, add a mile to your walk or just add a little bit more to your distance, or change the terrain. Sometimes I do loops a lot in our neighborhood. Sometimes I reverse the loop and I'm like, oh, that way is a lot harder, or that way is a lot easier, or what have you. So just a couple of other suggestions that I read about. Set realistic goals. They say the Department of Health and Human Services recommends getting at least 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity a week. And so, if you haven't walked for a while or haven't exercised for a while, start with 5 minutes a day. You can take a quick walk or the standing marching that we did at the beginning of the show. Do that. And then add a minute, add 5 minutes a day. The goal is to just get moving. Maybe just take a really long walk one day, a bunch of short walks the other days, or other exercise. Walking is not everybody's favorite exercise. It is mine, but there are other exercises to do. So, that being said, let's do a fun little snack. We are going to make apple sandwiches. The apple is the bread. And these are great because you can make it, before you take a walk, or you can make them after you take a walk for a quick little snack. Use raisins, we're going to use cinnamon. Okay, so start with an apple. I'm going to post pictures of this later, probably tomorrow or the next day. Okay, take an apple, and if you have an apple coring device, that's ideal. I do not. So I wanted to do it before the show so it just wasn't a disaster of me trying to core the apple under pressure. So I cored it already. So I basically just took a knife and cut a square in the bottom all the way through to the top. And it wasn't perfect, but I cut the core out. And it is a square. The cores are really nice because it's a circle and it's clean and you're not trying to guess anything. So core an apple, that's the start. However is easiest for you. And next we're going to just make some horizontal slices all the way across the apple. got a fancy knife. I'm sorry that I will not be showing all of this during the show. Hold on. Okay. All right. So we're just going to cut across. So we've got one cut. Apple like this. That is kind of an interesting middle, but that's okay. All right. And you can cut them as thin or as thick as you like. Here's another one. And I'll just do one more so that we have two from the true center. And because my coring was not exact, there is a little bit of the seed left in the middle, but that's okay. You can always peel those out. So we've got our apple. This is our apple bread. And I'm going to take some peanut butter. My favorite is Adam's. All right, but any kind is fine. Or if you prefer like cashew butter or nut butter, that's fine too. Whoops. And then you put some peanut butter. This is a new jar of Adam's, so it's pretty oily on the top. Okay, good. I'm glad that you didn't, I don't think you saw all the messiness that I just did. Okay, so now we've got peanut butter. You can put a thicker layer if your peanut butter is a little bit thicker. This is pretty thin. Okay, now we've got cinnamon. Our neighbor gave us the whole package of this Penzeys cinnamon, which is really fun. I love the little jars, so we're just going to sprinkle some cinnamon on the apple. Yeah. And then we have some raisins. Put a couple of raisins all around, more than a couple. It's kind of like ants on a log, but it's apples. And then you place your apple on top, and you've got an apple sandwich. It's pretty fun, huh? You can do all kinds of things. You know, you could put hummus, you could put cheese, you could put, gosh, what else? Cream cheese. That would be kind of good. And then add some raisins or other spices, or plain yogurt would be good, or like a tzatziki. All kinds of options. But I love peanut butter. So we've got our peanut butter apple sandwich. There we go. Thank you for joining me in making those apple sandwiches. I'll post about it on Instagram. My Instagram is at Alli Shircliffe, ALLISHIRCLIFF. I think that's about all we have for today. So basically, walking is great. It helps us live longer. It helps our knees. It improves our mood. It lowers our risk of cancer, strengthens our heart, helps us avoid diabetes. It's good for our balance and coordination, burns calories, boosts our immune system, boosts our energy, tones our legs, helps with creative thinking, is a time where you can listen to books, and you're out there getting fresh air. I know I keep saying that, but it's all about the fresh air. The fresh air, the blood flowing, giving yourself that time for yourself, or if you want to walk with somebody else is always, a good time to catch up with people. You can do walking meetings, when we're back in the office and having in-person meetings, you can do a walking meeting instead of sitting in a room. So many reasons to walk. So grab your shoes, take a walk, or do a standing walk like we did during the show. Thank you all for being here today. I appreciate you here. I'll be here next week with another topic. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.